Everybody Googles everything, especially potential customers or employers, and a business or personal online reputation can make or break you. If negative search results or reviews are impacting you, Webamax is here to help. Our proven process restores your online reputation quickly and effectively, and it matters. Don't let negative results control your narrative. Visit GoWebamax.com and fill out a brief confidential form to see how we can help. Remember, if you aren't paying attention to your online reputation, someone else is. GoWebamax.com.
When you need mealtime inspiration, it's worth shopping Kroger, where you'll find over 30,000 mouth-watering choices that excite your inner foodie. And no matter what tasty choice you make, you'll enjoy our everyday low prices, plus extra ways to save, like digital coupons worth over $600 each week. You can also save up to $1 off per gallon at the pump with fuel points. More savings and more inspiring flavors make shopping Kroger worth it every time. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Fuel restrictions apply.
Jewelry isn't a gift you give just once. It's a way to remind your loved one of a beautiful moment every time they see it. Blue Nile can help you find the gift that says how you feel and says it beautifully, with expert guidance and a wide assortment of jewelry of the highest quality at the best price. Go to BlueNile.com and experience the convenience of shopping Blue Nile, the original online jeweler since 1999. That's BlueNile.com to find the perfect jewelry gift for any occasion. BlueNile.com.
With threats to our nation waiting around every corner, adaptability is more important than ever. When conditions change without notice, quick strategic thinking is crucial. And with obstacles consistently impending, determination is essential in overcoming them. It's this willingness, decisiveness, and resilience that sets Marines apart. With our fighting spirit, we don't just fight battles, we win them. Marines are the constant our nation counts on to fight the unknown. And through adaptable problem solving, we do just that. Learn more at Marines.com.
Welcome back, Ram fans. This is Rams Up, your favorite LA Rams podcast. We are proud members of the Fans First Sports Network. That's fansfirstsports.com. You can also follow us on YouTube. Our channel is at LA Rams Up. I'm your host, Mark. You'll hear from my co-host, Tom, on occasion as well. Hey, we're not Rams insiders. We're just longtime fans who love talking about our Los Angeles Rams. Let's get to it. Welcome back, everybody. Episode 462 of Rams Up. Going to get through some news and notes, some observations, but the focus of this episode is going to be Behind the Grind episode 2. Just watched it. Good stuff. I'll share some thoughts on that. It is episode 462, so of course we're going to talk about a player who wore number 62. Episode 362, I talked about an offensive lineman, Harvey Dahl. And I'm going to go back to the offensive line this episode. You know, the Rams were the beneficiary of a perfect storm. Good things happening for them around 1999. They still had Orlando Pace and Isaac Bruce. Torrey Holt is a rookie. They trade for Marshall Faulk. Kurt Warner comes out of nowhere. And there's one other thing that happened that we often overlook, and that was the free agent signing of number 62, Adam Timmerman. A 7th-round draft pick of the Packers comes over to the Rams and solidified that offensive line. Appeared in 2 Super Bowls, one of them a win, of course, and was a Pro Bowl alternate 4 straight years. Probably deserved a Pro Bowl outright. But Adam Timmerman, rock-solid guard for our Los Angeles Rams. I wanted to make a follow-up comment on our Walia's World episode. You know, we talked about our 5 favorite Rams of all time. Paul didn't include any active players, and I did, and somehow I didn't include Cooper Kupp as an honorable mention. I only had 4 guys in my defense, but absolutely should have mentioned him, Cooper Kupp. Kind of a different personality than Puka Nacua. Puka Nacua was my 5th favorite all time, and I kind of felt bad about not even mentioning Cooper Kupp. What a great player. Just a different personality, a little more low-key. We saw him get emotional against the 49ers, and I love that moment for our Rams and Cooper Kupp. Just wanted to follow up. Cooper Kupp's probably my sixth favorite player all time. Let's just leave it at that for now. I got to take a moment and talk about something that probably has you pissed off as much as I, assuming you're a Rams fan listening to this podcast. Cameron De Silva pointed this out, the writer on Rams Wire. Pro Football Focus talked up Ernest Jones, 37 pressures, led all inside linebackers last season. 6 sacks, were tied for the 4th most at his position. One of the best run defenders as far as inside linebackers go. 86.2 rating, 7th best. And then Pro Football Focus concludes he is the 30th best inside linebacker in the league. They list at 32. Ernest Jones comes in at number 30. That was behind the 49ers' new linebacker Devondre Campbell, came in at number 19. Behind Ivan Pace, the undrafted rookie, he came in at 23. Well, he did have 15 quarterback pressures, which was less than half of what Ernest Jones racked up. Both Seahawks inside linebackers came in ahead of Jones, and neither of them were Bobby Wagner. We're talking about Tyrell Dodson and Jerome Baker. Now, didn't make a lot of sense to me, and A.J. Schultz of the Sporting News also had a problem with this, and he observed that he was basically being downgraded because of poor pass coverage. But A.J. pointed out that Jones is tied for the lowest average depth of target among all linebackers. So what's that mean? On average, passes that Jones is covering are short, quick passes, which are usually completed at a high percentage. You shouldn't really ding an inside linebacker for that. And it explains the high completion percentage, 75%. But again, short passes is doing his job. The longest completion Jones allowed was 23 yards, second among all linebackers. So this is a really bad look for Pro Football Focus, in my opinion. Threw out an assessment, and then it took some other folks to actually do the real work and prove them wrong. Now there's rumors that Darion Kendrick is being tried out at the Rams' star defensive back position. Now, I'm not going to touch that this episode. I'm going to let that percolate for another couple of weeks and get Ian Martinez and Paul Walia on board to talk about that interesting development. If it is the case, if Kendrick does end up playing that star spot, man, that just gives the Rams even added flexibility in the secondary. Quentin Lake moves back to safety perhaps. Cameron Kitchens, third safety when needed, a backup safety, could mean for a really talented and deep secondary. Ran across an article, NFL.com, calling Demarcus Robinson the Rams' most overlooked player. Well, based on what I just talked about a minute ago, I thought it was going to be Ernest Jones, but Demarcus Robinson, fair enough, 21 catches for 319 yards and 4 TDs in 5 games between weeks 13 and 17. So they're on to something there. And did you see C.J. Stroud? Man, he is a Matthew Stafford fan, calling him a dog. And what he pointed out about Stafford, and it's true, is, there's guys like Mahomes that go off schedule and find new ways to beat you every week. Matthew Stafford, he beats you by doing the same thing over and over. You kind of know what's coming, and he still beats you. And remember, my prediction, and I doubt I'm going to change it, this year's Super Bowl, Texans-Rams. Justin Jefferson gets a new deal, now the highest paid wide receiver in the league. Not sure if that's going to affect the Brandon Ayuk negotiations. And speaking of the 49ers, they signed a tight end Logan Thomas.
Okay, round 2. Name something that's not boring.
A laundry? Ooh, a book club. Computer solitaire, huh?
Ah, sorry, we were looking for Chumba Casino. That's right. ChumbaCasino.com has over 100 casino-style games. Join today and play for free for your chance to redeem some serious prizes. ChumbaCasino.com. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18 plus. Terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
It is Ryan here, and I have a question for you. What do you do when you win? Like, are you a fist pumper, a woohooer, a hand clapper, a high fiver? I kind of like the high five, but if you want to hone in on those winning moves, check out Chumba Casino. At ChumbaCasino.com, choose from hundreds of social casino-style games for your chance to redeem serious cash prizes. There are new game releases weekly, plus free daily bonuses, so don't wait. Start having the most fun ever at ChumbaCasino.com.
No purchase necessary. VGW. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18 plus.
Now I'm going to talk a little bit about episode 2 of Behind the Grind. Watched it earlier this evening. Man, it's going to get you jacked up if you're a Rams fan. A few takeaways from this episode. The Rams obviously really wanted Jared Verse, and we're just pumped. And we're just thrilled to watch him slip to number 19. But they were even more jacked at the prospects of going up and getting Braden Fisk. Man, what did they say about these two guys? Over the last 6 games at Florida State, these two guys, the sum is greater than the parts. They started to play so well together. In a silo, they're both great players. Put them together, watch out. And we caught some quotes that we hadn't seen before. McVay stated, man, we would be so jacked if we had both of these guys. Verse in the car after being drafted on his way to meet the Rams, and he was hoping for Fisk at that point. I need him by my side was the quote, and his wish came true by the time he got there on the phone with his former and future teammate Braden Fisk. Man, that was fun watching that. And now some criticize the Rams for giving up too much to go up and get Fisk. And you know what? That's going to fall on Sean McVay. He was basically telling his staff, do what it takes. We got to go get this guy. Do whatever we can. And, you know, I don't know if I've ever seen McVay more pumped. Maybe that time he ran down the field after Rams scored a touchdown against the 49ers, but this was pretty darn close. James Gladstone, their director of scouting strategy, had a few moments on the episode. One of the things he said was the Rams ended up getting 4 of their top 50 players. They also got their 2 most highly rated players in the physicality department, one of them being Brendan Jackson, the other, I'm not sure if it was Verse or Fisk, one of those two. And Gladstone also said they got 4 of their top 50 players. And Les Snead once again reiterated their overall draft strategy. We want guys that give us extra tools in the toolbox to go out and win games, guys with an edge, and guys that care. Mature guys that can play with physicality, basically. Really enlightening episode. And again, like I say, it'll get you pumped up. Got to check it out. Learn a lot about how the Rams operate as far as their area scouts, how they prepare for the draft, the day before the draft, how they get organized. And, you know, we also see another aspect of the Rams culture at work here. We know how well they treat departing players. They have, in some instances, worked with players to get traded to their preferred destination. They treated Aaron Donald so well on his way out. They nurture coaches, young coaches, mentor them along. And what else do? Well, they do the same thing with their young scouts. We got to follow Vito Gonella, their West Coast area scout, around on a couple of trips, UCLA's pro day, kind of see how it works for him and how grueling that job could be. And you remember how the Rams let assistant coaches call the plays on offense and defense in the preseason past years? How cool is that? Well, what did they do this year? They let some of these area scouts make the phone calls to players when they got drafted in the later rounds. Man, it is so cool to see people in positions of authority, leadership positions, give the young guys the opportunity to step forward and shine and get a taste of what it's like to be in a more responsible role, which could be the case later on in their career. A young guy like Vito, probably wants to be a general manager in the perfect world, right? And here he is making a phone call to Brenton Jackson, telling him, hey, we're about to draft you. And the same thing later on with the Southeastern area scout calling Tyler Davis of Clemson, letting him know, hey, the Rams are drafting you. Cool stuff. I love the way the Rams operate, the way they conduct their business. Hey, they're not perfect, but for the most part, they do it right. What a great culture in the locker room, on the field, and among their staff. They must be an awesome organization to work for. Hey, if you're listening, Les, I'm not unemployed, but I switched jobs in a heartbeat. No roundtable this week, obviously, but we're going to come back next week, hopefully, with some good stuff, and maybe I'll get together with Paul Wally again this weekend. We'll see how it goes. We're going to start talking about some other NFC teams that we need to reckon with on the way to the Super Bowl. We'll get that started very soon here. That's going to do it for this episode. Remember, you can reach us at ramsuppodcast@gmail.com. And don't forget about our YouTube channel. Our handle is at laramsup.com. Till next time, keep the horns up, stay safe, and have fun out there.